Hey everybody, it's Kevin Drudge. I am a longtime franchise executive, actually nearly 30 years to be exact. Over that time, I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people get into franchise businesses. I've led franchising efforts for lots of different organizations over my time. Shortly after school, I went to college in Jacksonville University down in Florida. I actually moved back to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was from, and went to high school and kind of stumbled into franchising, actually. I got hired by the in-house advertising agency, which was part of Meineke Discount Mufflers. This was back in the mid-90s. So I got hired to place local ad fund dollars for franchisees all across the country in the US and Canada. I placed about 150 markets every quarter. And that's kind of how I got into franchising. And then from there, it just progressed. I finally got out of marketing and corporate side of things. And I used to place a company employment ads and came across my desk for West Coast franchise salesperson. And I had never done sales, but I always thought I would enjoy it. And so I talked to the VP of the department. Even though I lived in North Carolina, he said, sure, you realize you're going to be flying coast to coast all the time. And I was young, in my mid-20s, didn't care. And so he hired me for that role, and I just never looked back. Continued to develop franchises with Meineke for probably about another 4 years. And then I left Meineke, went to an organization called Signorama, full-service sign franchise, and worked for them as regional vice president, overseeing franchising and operations for the Carolinas and Tennessee. And I got hired by Valpak, the direct mail advertising company, handle franchising for them. So I moved to Largo, Florida, and ended up franchising for Valpak for approximately 5-6 years, and grew that chain significantly. And then had my kids down in Clearwater and continued to progress from there. Actually was rehired by Meineke, became Driven Brands, and their latest acquisition at the time was Mako Auto Paint and Body, and they hired me back to basically handle franchise development for the Mako brand, Auto Paint and Body, which I did for about 3 years. And then I got recruited by a company, Vaniclean, hired me as a VP of franchise development. I eventually became chief development officer and oversaw operations, legal compliance, basically everything except for marketing, franchising, development side of things. So I worked for them for about 6 years and grew that chain significantly. And then I moved on to help a newer franchise, United Water Restoration Company franchise. It was another restoration company. I worked for them for about 3 years and helped them get their franchising efforts started. And then I also worked for another automotive concept called Alloy Wheel Repair, and that was to rebuild their franchise program. So, and then most recently, I just completed a 4-year stint of helping a company franchise their business altogether, which was Grand Welcome, short-term vacation rental property management franchise that we launched from the ground up and grew it to about 85 units, and joined and started franchise consulting on a full-time basis, which is what I do now. I've also invested in a couple franchises myself. I own a couple of Oliver's Nannies franchises here locally in the Charlotte area, which I'm in the process of starting. So not only do I, over the years, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people get into franchise businesses, I also practice what I preach. I'm a multi-unit franchisee. I also have an e-commerce dog shipping business online that I'm in the process of launching with my son as well. So really, what's got me into franchising was I stumbled across it, but I thoroughly believe in the franchising model. I love it. It's something that I've done for the last 30 years, and I'll continue to do it for as long as I'm able, well into my retirement years.